I produce all this informational content, but you have no clue who this Bowtie Coach is, how he got here, and why he does what he does. Well, let me tell you a story about how this shy, depressed introvert became a business coach. Hi there, I'm Stefan Burchard, the Bowtie Coach here in the Palm Springs region. I record and post inspirational and educational content here about being a successful entrepreneur because I believe that knowledge is power. Check back because I upload new content every other week. Hey there, I'm back. So, on for the story. Back in the early 2000s, I was working in an IT job that I loved. IT work is perfect for introverts because you don't necessarily have to interact with a lot of people, if ever. I was safe in my little introverted shell, cranking out my programming work via computer, email, and voicemail. Hey, did you ever have one of those times when you were calling somebody and it rolled to voicemail and you thought to yourself, thank God? Well, that was me in a nutshell. Well, it's still me because being an introvert never goes away. It's something I must work with and leverage to my advantage. But more on that later. I'm getting ahead of myself. Back to IT. Unfortunately, in early 2001, the bottom dropped out of the IT industry, aka the dot-bomb. I found myself unemployed with no career prospects since the dot-bomb eviscerated my segment of the IT industry. I was searching for a job, however, more importantly, for meaning and purpose to my life. I felt I'd lost that. I had my whole shy introverted identity wrapped up in my IT career. When that went away, I lost my whole sense of identity. I no longer knew who I was and what I wanted. Before getting laid off, I had been studying to obtain my real estate broker's license. My partner at the time worked for his brother, a mortgage broker, and he was surrendering 50% of his income to his brother. Not good, especially because the brother did very little to earn that 50%. If I obtained my broker's license and opened up a company, my partner, or should I say we, would keep 100% of his income. It was an interesting proposition that I had agreed to, and I thought would be no big deal since I had just graduated with a master's degree. I was pretty smart, right? Boy, was I naive and full of myself. However, studying and writing always came easy to me as an introvert. I actually enjoy the ritual, safe and secure in my own little bubble. Back then, there was very little on the web for studying or reading. In order to achieve my educational requirements to take the state exam, I had to read, study, and pass prep exams on 7 different topics. Believe it or not, that was the easy part of the process. Buckle up, buttercup. It's about to get a little bumpy. I was able to bypass taking the salesperson and take the broker's exam because of my college degrees. And I needed the broker license in order to create my own company, our own company. The broker exam passing threshold was 75%. That didn't seem like a big deal at the time. Boy, was I and my big introverted ego about to learn big time. After passing my qualifying exams, I scheduled my exam with the California Department of Real Estate. Then I did my best to prepare by cramming on the sample exams the program gave me. Cram, up to the day before I had to take the exam. Went to the exam, completed it, yay, hurdle straddled. Then I had to wait for about 3 to 4 weeks to hear back since everything was still analog in 2001. And I failed. Oh my God, I was so freaking pissed and rejected. I thought for sure I was going to pass, considering my level of education and the ability to absorb knowledge and recall it. This was a considerable blow to my ego. And my self-confidence, to be honest. It took me about a week or so to get over it and to pick up myself by the bootstraps and keep moving forward. So I scheduled and applied for the second exam cycle. Easy peasy, right? This time I took my studying a little bit more seriously. I took time off work and worked with the practice exams and the coursework damn near daily until my exam several weeks later. I was confident, I was prepared and ready to pass this time. However, I freaking bombed it again. I fucking failed it a second time. Boy, was I pissed, but more importantly, I was bewildered. I thought for sure I was going to pass considering all the preparation I took. Wow, this was yet another blow to my ego and my self-confidence. I was frustrated, angry, and at this point, I was scared to take that sucker again. I knew I needed something better and outside my realm of knowledge. I needed to do something different this time, something outside myself. My introverted side had to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. After all, my efforts and ideas weren't working at all, so I was game for anything. So I researched and found a company that had a live 2-day prep course. They suggested I schedule my exam, then take the course as close to my exam date as I could. I did exactly as they instructed before scheduling the prep course. So I signed up for my 3rd state exam cycle. They walked us through everything needed to pass. But more importantly, they taught me how to take the exam. They said it was a reading test, just as much as it was a knowledge test. Who knew? So a couple days after completing the prep course, I booked a hotel for the night prior to the exam so I could study in peace and keep myself in the right mindset for this next exam. Heaven for an introvert, right? The exam experience this time was completely different. I was calm, confident, and I felt like I knew what I was doing. So, about 4 weeks later, I got my results and I had passed this time. I was now a California real estate broker. Ta-da! One of the biggest things I learned during this laborious process is I don't always know the best way to go about doing something. I actually may need to go out on a limb and ask for ideas from others or perform some research to find a better way of doing something. That does not come easily for this shy introvert. My die-hard introverted ego had gotten in the way twice and slowed down the process of getting my broker's license by 6 friggin' months. One of the things I love the most about being an entrepreneur is that it's about connecting and building trust, negotiating and communicating. Those are now things I'm pretty good at, and I do enjoy them. It wasn't always that way though. I had to learn how to work with my introverted self and turn those traits into strengths and skills that help rather than hinder my efforts. While the rest of the story is history, because 21 years later, I'm still in the business, and now I'm in a position of helping other introverted entrepreneurs leverage their talents in ways that bring them success that would make an extroverted entrepreneur envious. After all, I am Stefan, the Bowtie Coach, taking the knots out of business. And now, watch my next video about the birth of the Bowtie brand. Bye! Damn near every day until my introverted self had become comfortable. After the prep course, I booked a hotel for myself